If somebody takes a knee, that fine will be borne by the organization, by me, not the players.
Obviously, a lot of strong opinions on both sides of this issue, but there are a lot of other professional athletes in other sports. Yeah. What are the rules there?
So in the NHL and Major League Baseball, they actually don't have any rules that govern what players have to do during the anthem. In the NBA, though, you could say that it takes it even a step further. Yeah. I mean, the policy is that players actually have to stand in a dignified posture during the national anthem. Nonetheless, though, the NBA, those players have managed to develop a bit of a reputation for being even more socially aware than a lot of their professional counterparts. I mean, these are some shoes that some of the players have been wearing as a nod to the Black Lives Matter movement. We, of course, back in 2012, we saw a member of the Miami Heat standing in hoodies in the wake of the Trayvon Martin debacle. So but here's the thing. This isn't over. I mean, I think the league probably thought yesterday that this would be a decision to put it to rest. I talked to a former NFL player yesterday who has said that players are already talking about other ways in which they can protest. So we'll be talking about this for some time.
So you mentioned the NBA. Speaking of that incident that we talked about at the top of the show, some just released body cam footage that shows police confronting and then tasing a player for the Bucks. NBC's Ron Mott is in Milwaukee with that story. Ron, good morning.
Hey there, Savannah. Good morning to you. This all happened back in January, but Milwaukee police just last night releasing that body cam video, and in it, we see Sterling Brown of the Milwaukee Bucks being surrounded by a bunch of police officers. They tackle him to the ground and tase him. All the while, he seems to cooperate. The body cam video from the early hours of January 26 shows NBA player Sterling Brown coming out of a Walgreens, a Milwaukee police officer approaching after Brown had double parked in a handicap spot.
Where's your driver's license? Back up. You don't see the issue here? Hold on.
As the officer explains why he's stopping Brown, he calls for backup.
That's right, I told you to back up. Because you're going to try and get in the car. I'll do what I want, all right? I own this right here.
It's not clear what the officer is referring to, and despite never appearing combative, as indicated in early reports, Brown never appears to raise his voice or physically resist as the situation escalates.
These are legitimate questions, right? I got no problem with it. Okay, well, you look at me like I got things going on in my head, all right? Just because you touched me, that's the issue. Right, because you got up in my face, okay?
Within minutes, at least 6 patrol cars and multiple officers arrive. As Brown talks with them, one demands he take his hands out of his pockets. Then another grabs Brown. The officers force him to the ground. Then tase him.
Taser!
Brown was arrested on the scene for resisting arrest, but then issued a simple parking ticket and released, playing in an NBA game later that night. Wednesday, Milwaukee's police chief and mayor responding.
Our department conducted an investigation into the incident, which revealed members acted inappropriately, and those members were recently disciplined.
Mr. Brown deserves an apology.
But in a city where police and the African-American community have had a strained relationship for years, the Milwaukee Police Association seemed to push back, writing, "Use of force will never look pretty, but it is, unfortunately, a necessary component of policing." Brown now saying he'll take legal action against Milwaukee police, tweeting, "This experience with the Milwaukee Police Department has forced me to stand up and tell my story so that I can help prevent these injustices from happening in the future." The Milwaukee Bucks have issued a statement which reads in part, "The abuse and intimidation that Sterling experienced at the hands of Milwaukee police was shameful and inexcusable. Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated case. It shouldn't require an incident involving a professional athlete to draw attention to the fact that vulnerable people in our communities have experienced similar and even worse treatment." Savannah?
Ron Mott in Milwaukee for us. Thank you. Also breaking overnight, North Korea is issuing new threats over those much anticipated talks between